Okay. Interesting fact, over 300 million people travel on long distance flights every year. Now that's a flight that's generally over 4 hours long. Blood clots are also called deep vein thrombosis, or DVT for short, and it can be a serious risk for some long distance travellers. Now in this week's video, I've done some research into the best ways to help reduce your risk of developing a DVT whilst travelling. So let's begin. So, a DVT is a clot that forms in a deep vein, and it's usually in the leg. Serious health problems can occur from DVTs. So what can happen is, part of the blood clot can break off, travel to the lungs, and cause a blockage, which we call a pulmonary embolism. The risk of developing a DVT from travel is quite small though, and research shows there's one DVT per 4,656 flights that last 4 hours or more. And the good news is there's loads of things that you can do to help reduce your risk. So let's begin. Firstly, compression stockings. Now these are probably the easiest things you can wear to help reduce your risk of a DVT. They also help reduce swelling in your ankles and your legs, and we call that an edema in the medical world. Now, the compression stocking that you need is the Class 1 stocking. And class basically means how much pressure it puts on your leg. Class 1 has the least pressure, so it's the easiest to wear really, and it's sufficient. It's good at what it does. It's fine and it helps to prevent a DVT. The length that you need is below knee. Okay, there's a thigh length one as well, where it's really long and you don't really need to wear it. Below knee, class 1. The most important thing about these stockings is that they fit correctly and you wear them properly. Okay? In terms of wearing them, read the box, read the information leaflet that comes with it on how to wear them so you're doing it right. But in terms of fitting properly, I'd highly recommend everyone to visit their local pharmacy so they can measure your legs for you and pick the right size that's suitable for you. Now they might not have it in stock, they might have to order it in, but it's definitely worth it because if it doesn't fit right, it's not going to work and it's a waste of money. Remember though, compression stockings don't replace the fact that you still need to remain active and do things whilst you're on the flight. Now let's move on to those. Go for a walk up and down the aisles every hour or so when the seatbelt signs are switched off. If you can do it more often, that's even better. Every half hour or so, you can do these mini exercises while seated. Foot pumps. Lift toes with feet on the floor, then lift your heels. And continue doing this for 30 seconds. Knee lifts. Lift your legs to your chest with your knees bent. Alternate your legs and repeat 20 to 30 times. Ankle circles. Lift your feet and draw a circle with your toes towards, then away from each other for 30 seconds. Drink plenty of fluids to avoid dehydration, and don't drink too much alcohol either, as it can dehydrate you and cause immobility. My last tip is to wear loose, comfortable clothes whilst traveling. So basically don't wear what I'm wearing. And also, avoid taking sleeping tablets, because if you're asleep for the whole flight, you're not going to be able to exercise, you're not going to be able to stay hydrated, and it's not going to help you prevent having a DVT. And that's it. You now know how to reduce your risk of getting a DVT whilst travelling long journeys. And if you have any tips for everyone else on how to reduce their risk of getting a DVT as well, then leave a comment below because I'd love to read it as well. It's also worth mentioning that certain medical conditions can increase your chances of developing a DVT on long flights of 8 hours or more. So I've left a full list in the description below, check it out, and if you or someone in your family falls into those groups, then it's really important to speak to your GP before you travel. Lastly, and I promise this is the last point, it's also really important and useful to know the symptoms of DVT and pulmonary embolism. So I've left them in the description below, please read it, and that's it, finished. Have a great flight. Hey guys, thanks for watching this week's video. Make sure to click that like, follow or subscribe button now to stay up to date with new weekly videos. I picked the black stockings because that's my favourite colour. I thought black stockings would be a bit cooler. But there's many different colours. You can get beige, you can get sand. We can see you in it, Grace.
Is it that wide?
You're there.
I'm waiting to walk past, that's all.
You can go, mate, you can go. Now, the compression stockings that you need. Do you wear your stockings?
I always have my stockings on. Can't leave the house without it.
Good lad, good lad.